Hey everybody, thank you for joining me. I just wanted to make this channel and make some videos for you guys, especially the people that have cluster headaches. I know how lonely it can be. Only 1 in 1,000 people get cluster headaches, and it can be a very lonely, agonizing thing to go through, especially by yourself. So hopefully me talking to you, you talking to me, we can help each other out, just to let each other know that we are there for you. I've been on different forums and even just reading, seeing what other people have gone through, kind of makes it a little bit better to know that you're not alone. I also have a lot of treatments that have worked for me, and I know of a few medications that can help as well. So I wanted to just spread the information, get the awareness out about cluster headaches, and hopefully it can help you or someone that you know. So, what are cluster headaches? The symptoms of cluster headaches are when you have pain on one side of your head. Usually for me, it's right behind the eye. Your eye will start to water. Some people get eye drooping. Your nose will just run profusely. Light sensitivity is terrible. Any noise is awful. And the worst part is it feels like someone's taking claws and just scratching the inside of your head constantly. And it is the worst pain I've ever felt. I've been in tears. I've wanted to rip my head off. It is so bad, and it's so inside your brain that you feel helpless. They're nicknamed suicide headaches. So what makes these cluster headaches unique is that there's an active period and there's a dormant period. So for me, my active period is in the summer, but only every other year. Why does it skip a year? I have no idea. People think it's related to the moon and the stars and the sky. I don't know. I don't know. My brain makes no sense, but it's every other summer. So I knew that this summer that just happened was gonna be great. And I know that next summer it's gonna be terrible. That's why I have an appointment with my neurologist in March, and we're gonna figure all that out and figure out new medication and things like that. But that's the whole thing about cluster headaches. It's always the one side of the head, and it happens in a cluster. So if you have headaches every day and it's on the full side of your head, it's not a cluster headache. You can skip this video or just watch, subscribe, like. And you know what? Once you get diagnosed with it, it gets better because you actually know how to treat it. When I first had cluster headaches, I went to the doctor. I said, hey, I'm getting these headaches. I described all my symptoms, and he gave me Tylenol. Tylenol and painkillers don't do anything, not for this type of headache. So then I went back to the doctor, and he gave me more Tylenol, which was borderline dangerous. That just goes to show that not everyone knows that cluster headaches even exist. I also thought it was something to do with my prescription. I thought it was something to do with my neck, so I went to get massages. Then I went to get allergy shots because I thought it was related to allergies. Then I finally figured out that it was cluster headaches. Before we begin, I just want to make it clear, I am not a doctor. Although my parents wanted me to be a doctor, I am not a doctor. I'm an engineer. I'm second, the Asian. I'm not a doctor, okay? I'm not a medical professional, but I do suffer with cluster headaches, so I know how it feels to have it, and I know some things that have helped me. But please, please, please don't follow my advice without consulting a doctor first, especially because I don't want to get sued. So don't sue me. I'm just telling you what works for me, and hopefully it can work for you after you talk to a medical professional. So what are some treatments that have worked for me? The first thing I take as soon as I feel the shadow coming is a pill called zolmitriptan. I think there's different types of triptans, and this is the one that the doctor suggested for me. It comes in a pill form. I feel like you really need to take it as soon as you feel anything. So if you're a little bit late, I think the whole headache may last a little bit longer than if you took it like right on the spot. I know zolmitriptan also has a nasal spray, but it's wildly expensive here. It's like $60 for one spray. So no one can afford that. So if you can afford that, great, get the nasal spray because it's apparently way faster and goes right into your bloodstream. But for us regular folk, we'll just stick with the pill. And then after that, I chug a Red Bull. It doesn't have to be Red Bull. Some people like to use 5-hour energy drinks and just chug it as soon as they can. It could help relieve the pain that the cluster headache brings. You might be concerned because maybe your cluster headache wakes you up at like 3 in the morning. Most people can still take the caffeine, get the cluster headache away, and fall back asleep. The next one's weird, but it works, is exercise. As soon as you feel the headache, take your pill, take the caffeine if you have it, and then go sprint. Sprint, squats, push-ups, whatever for 10 minutes straight. Your heart rate's gonna go up, and maybe that brings blood to your brain. I don't know, I'm not a doctor, but it works. The community has seen people running down the street at 3 in the morning to get rid of their headaches. It's also good for you. It's healthy. So if you can, just do some push-ups as soon as you feel it. And the last one is oxygen. So if you can get your hands on it, it's like this big bottle of oxygen with this non-rebreather mask. And you take it for like 12 to 15 liters per minute for like 10 to 15 minutes. For some people, they've had like crazy results where it just aborts the whole headache, just like that. Some other things that may help that I haven't tried yet is this heart medication called Verapamil. And I'm pretty sure Daniel Radcliffe, AKA Harry Potter, takes this. I took a slightly smaller dose and it didn't seem to work. So I think this year coming up, we're gonna try to up the dose. Be aware, obviously, this is a heart medication, and I think one of the side effects is that it can help prevent cluster headaches. So you have to get an EKG test or ECG, one of those tests, your doctor will tell you, before you take the pill to make sure your heart doesn't explode, probably. But there have been people that have really good success with it, so definitely worth a shot. There's another drug called Emgality, I don't know. I think it's new. Some people are raving about it. I haven't looked it up yet, but if you want a video about it, I can do some research and we can talk about it together. And then the last one, which is kind of sketchy, is small doses of LSD and mushrooms, apparently. I would go to the Cluster Buster forums to check it out. These guys are like doing mushrooms, I think, but I kind of skipped that page because I'm not gonna do that. But honestly, you do you, boo-boo. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So if you have any questions, please leave a comment below. Like and subscribe as well, because I'm gonna make another video next that basically will help us collect information from everyone in the world that suffers with cluster headaches. So if you suffer with cluster headaches, check out the next video. I'd love to hear from you, and hopefully as a community, we can figure this out together. I understand how hard it is, trust me, I do, and I want us to try and get through this. Thank you guys for listening, and see you next time.